Now I have the privilege to introduce the Chancellor of our district, Dr. José M. Ortiz. We've certainly had our differences over the past several months. For example, I've been arguing pretty strenuously that we should be prioritizing the continued hiring of full-time faculty before we hire new administrators at the district office. Another example, thanks. And as you've probably heard, the Chancellor is bringing in a management consulting firm that's using a series of children's books to teach principles of accountability and so forth. I feel that if we're going to bring in a group that uses a series of children's books, that series of children's books should be the Hunger Games. But I haven't had much headway with the Chancellor on that. Anyway, I do enjoy arguing with the Chancellor, and I look forward to arguments of this sort and others in the months ahead. So thanks very much, and take it away, Chancellor.
Now, what did I do to deserve that? I thought you were on my side. I guess not. That's what happens when you're a chancellor. Everybody's behind you till you turn around. Nobody's there. I didn't know we were arguing, Matt. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome back. Happy New Year. Happy birthday to some of us. The Capricorns. Who was that, James? Actually, I am. I just had a birthday, so I am a year older. I'm also been chancellor for a year and a half. And thank you for that rousing applause, by the way. And those are the kind of things that Matt Goldstein and I argue about. But I also like to think I'm a little wiser, right, Matt, in our discussions. That's what I tried to tell John Drennan and the PBC the other day. I also told them that I'm probably 2 inches shorter than when I came here a year and a half ago, from the pounding that I get, particularly from PFT. I got to dish it back, you know? I mean, Anyway, we've had a lot of accomplishments this past year, and I want to talk about that. But before I do that, I want to recognize that the previous speakers, all four of them, of course, have alluded to lots of things that I'm probably going to talk about as well, so please bear with me. The other thing, of course, is you've heard already about student success. You're going to hear more about student success with me and with our keynote speakers, so bear with us. Student success is I was going to make a crash statement like the latest flavor, but quite frankly, student success is what it's all about for all of us, so we should take it seriously because it is about the people we serve. But James talked about capacity, and it occurs to me that all of us in this room have to deal with the capacity of what we do. You know, what capacity can we serve? So I want to, first of all, recognize, and I don't know if there are any trustees here, but I want to recognize our Board of Trustees. And if they are here, I can't see them because the lights are in my eyes. But Board of Trustees, thank you for your service. Thank you for pushing the Peralta District and our colleges to being the best that we can be. I also want to recognize our college presidents. Dr. Webb, thank you for hosting this activity, but then Dr. Budd is here, and Dr. Gravenberg, and Dr. Ambris Calaviza. I know she's here somewhere. I just can't see her. I want to recognize all those administrators who are working beyond capacity. I want to recognize all you faculty who I know are working beyond capacity, and to recognize the staff for working beyond capacity. Students better be working beyond capacity, because that's what we want. That's how they're going to be successful. So, again, I recognize all of you for your hard work. Sometimes we don't get that opportunity. Sometimes you certainly don't hear from me, but I want you to know that you are in my mind and in my heart. I recognize the work you do, so thank you very much. I'll be talking about the accomplishments for this past year, but before I do that, I want to talk about something special that's happening this year, and it has to do with the aging process. Can anybody guess what's so special about this year, 2014? I know last time I was here, Louis Quinlan was quick with answers. Is Louis here today? Anyway, what's so special about the year? Oh, you don't count. Yes. It's the what? It's the 50th anniversary. Is that up there? It is now. 50th anniversary for the Peralta colleges in the Peralta district. That deserves a round of applause, I think. And where's Tamika? Tamika, you want me out of here in 5 minutes? It's not going to happen. I don't know how many of you know the history of the Peralta colleges, but just like so many community colleges in the state of California, we come out of the K-12 system. We used to be part of continuing education and adult education of the Oakland Unified School District. That eventually morphed into colleges. It used to be Oakland City College, when we had Laney as the vocational arm, and we had Merit as the liberal arts. It was in 1964 that the communities of, see if I get them all, Albany, Berkeley, Oakland, Piedmont, Alameda, and what's the other one? Which one? Emeryville, voted to consolidate a community college district, junior college district, and we formed the Peralta Community College District in 1964. Now, if you want to know where that Peralta name came from, that's interesting. I thought it was probably one of our greatest contradictions, that here in Oakland, the worldwide recognized bastion of progressive thought and Occupy Oakland, we are named after those great Spanish colonialists, the Peralta family who took over California. That's just one of my little pet peeves, but that's where that comes from, right, Joe? But we are the Peralta colleges, and we should be proud of that. Now, this year, because of our 50th anniversary, we're going to be putting on a lot of special events, not only internally, but for this community. Some of you, I know I was talking to Jay Lehman earlier this day. He probably dates back those 50 years. Jay, where are you? So Jay's got all kinds of stories. And if any of you have stories about the Peralta district, about the colleges that you think are worth sharing with this community, contact our public information office at the district, Jeff Heyman. He would love to hear from you. And then I know he and his staff will be going around looking for stories. So 50 years, how many of you remember the North Peralta Learning Pavilion? Anybody remember that? Anybody remember Vista College? Anybody remember the college without walls? That was Vista. And some of you may recall that Barbara Bina was the president for Vista College. But we won't hold that against Vista. I've been at Berkeley. So thank you for that recognition. Now let's talk about modern times. Matt has mentioned our accreditation situation. We, of course, have achieved full reaffirmation to our accreditation status. But again, as Matt has said, that's an ongoing struggle. And without struggle, there's no progress. Is that what you said? We are now moving into a new accreditation cycle where each college is looking to develop a self-evaluation, what we used to call self-study, but the self-evaluation is what the Accreditation Commission will receive from us to evaluate how we're doing on accreditation standards. What I find interesting about this process is that many of us in this room believe that this is an administration problem. That is the administrators that are going to write this self-evaluation, turn it over to the commission, and deal with whatever decisions come out from Novato. However, you do know, of course, that accreditation is about all of us in this room. It is all about the teaching and learning enterprise that you are part of. It is about what goes on in the classroom. It is about what goes on in the counseling offices. It is about what goes on in the budget offices. It's what goes on even in the custodial realm of things. Are we providing the best conditions for student success, and are we getting results? That is what the Accreditation Commission is looking for, and we need all of you to help craft those self-evaluations in the most accurate and forthright fashion so that we are true to ourselves, true to the commission and the standards, and of course, true to our students. But I also recognize that this is a burden, a true burden for many of us. We talk about capacity. You're probably at the brink of capacity. And I cannot expect staff, faculty, administrator, et cetera, to do it all. And as we've done in the past, we will have outside facilitators come in to help us, help you, develop the self-evaluation that includes updating our strategic planning, updating our educational master plan, updating our facilities plan, and updating our technology plan. Some of you may believe that this is, busy work, superfluous work, but the fact of the matter is that this work is fundamental to our future as we take these plans and implement them and show the accrediting commission that we, first of all, know what we do, know where we're going, and we know how to get there. So that's what we'll be doing for the next 12 months. And I encourage you all to participate and help us do the right thing. So to move on, it's been mentioned again earlier, I think it was Matt. Last week, the governor came out with his state budget proposal that, Matt, how'd you put it? A stingy COLA at 0.86%. No? Yeah, right. So maybe we didn't say stingy. I'll say stingy. So it was stingy. I don't know. I mean, I guess the governor's thinking something is something. So we're looking at a little something to help with salaries and a few other expenses that can help us. Now, of course, the governor doesn't consider the fact that we typically get an increase in costs to health benefits, costs to insurance benefits, costs to this, that, and the other, and many of these increases coming from Sacramento are absorbed even before we even get to look at it. On the other hand, the governor does recognize that we've been cutting our budget for the last 6 years, and we are now looking at an increase. For the community colleges, it's probably somewhere around $400 million or 11%. We are looking at growth capacity. The governor is going to be funding. If we can get students here, he'll pay for it. He's also funding at a tune of about $200 million for that famous Student Success and Support Act. Again, Sacramento sees that as a very serious initiative. And there's $175 million to an area that's exciting to me because this $175 million is going to schedule maintenance and instructional equipment, two areas that have not seen a funding increase, I think, for about 10 years now. So this is important for all of us in this room that we could leverage what we've done with some of our bond dollars, leverage to fix up our facilities, to do the scheduled maintenance, to avoid some of the deterioration of facilities. And then, of course, the same thing in the classroom, instructional equipment that continues to develop. And if we do not bring in new equipment, what we have becomes obsolete, and then our students are shortchanged by that. So I want to talk a little bit. We have lots to talk about, and you have a keynote speaker speaking to student success, but I want to mention student success because clearly the governor's budget is putting $200 million into student success. We, at the Peralta colleges, we have student success committees. We are serious about addressing the mandate. And this mandate is not just about students completing their classes and even completing their degrees. You recall that community colleges at one point were mostly about access. We were the open door institutions of higher education, and anyone who could benefit from higher education, certainly in California, was welcome to come to our colleges. At one time, the community colleges in California were free. I know there's a few folks old enough to remember that. That was before my time, though. But now, still, California is affordable. We are the lowest fee structure for community colleges in the country, and that I think is also being challenged in many places. But when we were doing the access real well, but now things have morphed into what we call accountability. And the accountability, as you know, has gone from student learning outcomes to now we're looking at student achievement or student success, call it what you will. And the student success agenda has been translated to be the completion agenda. So you're going to be hearing today about not only how students complete a class and how they get through a semester or two, but the completion agenda, the student success agenda, is completing, meaning getting degrees and certificates, or transferring to a four-year institution to get degrees and certificates. That's the agenda. And that agenda requires a whole lot of time, effort, and money to help us help students complete what they came for. And at the Peralta colleges, we are definitely challenged when it comes to that completion agenda, because the majority of our students come from underrepresented populations. And underrepresented populations have been disengaged in many ways through our public education system. And they come to us unprepared, underprepared for college-level work. And because of that, even before the Student Success Act, their completion rates were dismal. Here at the Peralta colleges, for example, the African-American males that come to the Peralta colleges, we have such an alarming low completion rate that we need to pay attention to not only that population, all of our students, but we cannot be proud of our completion rates. So we're going to hear today about how we can together engage in helping our students, whether they're African-American males, Latinos, Asians, doesn't matter. It's making sure our students complete, get degree certificates, transfer, and get what they came here to get. I recognize that this doesn't happen in one semester, doesn't happen in 2 semesters. But this is going to be a concerted and sustained effort that you all need to be aware of, as I think Carolyn was mentioning. Not everyone's aware of this, but you will be hearing more and more continuously about student success, the student completion agenda, because you're all going to be part of that. Now, you heard from me and from others, the budget situation looks pretty good, and it's very optimistic, and I'll be going to Sacramento in a couple of weeks to lobby the legislature to pass this proposal from the governor, because it really bodes well for us. However, a big part of this budget is about growth, and a big part of this budget is about student enrollments. And right now, quite frankly, our enrollments are not great, because this year we have created a schedule, a optimistic schedule. This is greater than last year, and as Matt mentioned, because of Measure B and Prop 30, we've been able to add sections. Well, just because we add sections, that doesn't mean they come. So we're doing the best we can, maybe not the best, but we're doing all we can to attract students, to bring them back, to let them know that we have classes, that the Peralta colleges are here to serve them. But we have factors that sometimes work against us, like a good economy. As you know, when people have jobs, they don't think about going back to school. So things are turning around in the economy, but that's challenging us in terms of student enrollment. And success means you have to have students. So you too can play a part in not only recruiting students, but keeping students and making sure they understand that the work, in order for them to be successful, they too have to work. And I appreciate all your efforts. In the end, we all benefit from that. And we could hopefully tap into additional dollars coming from Sacramento. Matt mentioned earlier, we do argue, don't we, Matt? No. Well, there's a couple of things I want to share with you is about change, and both James and Matt talked about. When I came here a year and a half ago, I did a survey. I don't know how many of you remember, and I brought you the results of that. And And it was clear to me from you that you wanted to see change at the Peralta colleges, at the Peralta district culture. So I also got that message from the Board of Trustees. And I have been working for the last 18 months looking at how can I, as Chancellor, move this district into a better place and a more positive environment and a positive branding so that this community looks at our colleges as their community colleges, but colleges that serve their needs with full respect and service, as James talks about. Well, I am looking at a couple of things. Number one, I've acquiesced to the Board of Trustees' desire that I look at bringing in a chief operating officer. You probably heard the rumor mill about this, but it's not a rumor. I am going to bring in an interim deputy chancellor / chief operating officer who will help me not only in my day-to-day operations, but also to look at the administrative structure that we know so well as the district office and how we are structured. I am going to be, for the next 6 months, working with a gentleman named John Hendrickson, who is a retired chancellor from the West Valley Mission Community College District. He is a veteran of community colleges, veteran in finance, and he and I are going to work together hand in hand for the next 6 months, looking at how we can be most efficient and effective as a district administration. I promise you that this is an experiment, that I will come back to you and let you know not only of any restructuring that may take place, but whether this position is to be finalized or not. So it is not a foregone conclusion. I want to be clear about that. I am also concerned, as you probably are, of the many interim administrative positions that exist around our district at all the colleges and the district office. We're working with HR to make sure we hire permanent people for those positions. That, again, is a capacity issue. It is not bode well with the accrediting commission to have interim administrative positions to the extent that we have here at Peralta. So I want to make sure we finalize some of those hirings. I know that Matt, I guess, chastised me for not hiring the faculty first. Well, I'm going to leave that one alone, Matt. We are trying to hire faculty, and I need, to hire the faculty, we need faculty to participate. So please do your part so we can get these new faculty on board, either now in the spring or certainly for the fall coming up. The other thing that I am looking at is to bring in a professional team of, boy, Matt, you really threw me off with that. What do you call it, children's books or something like that? There's, I don't know how familiar you are with children's books, but there's wisdom. There's wisdom in children's books. If you've ever read The Wizard of Oz, there's wisdom in the lion, in the scarecrow, in the Tin Man, and in the Chancellor. So I'm going to bring some Oz training for professional development. We spent a lot of money on shoring up our facilities, shoring up our technology. I want to shore up our staff. And I want to shore up our administrators. I want to shore up, thank you. And I've heard it from you. We want accountability and responsibility. And that's the training. One of the things I learned from the place I came from, I was at Santa Maria at Hancock College for 7 years, and I thought that accountability, or responsibility and accountability would filter into folks if I just modeled the behavior. I might have said this to you before. But the fact is that I learned that people, even if you model the behavior, doesn't mean that they know what to do with it. So I learned that you have to train people. You have to teach them what that behavior needs to be. And I'm going to bring a team, if the board allows me. I'm taking it to them next week. A team of folks who are going to spend the next 3 years creating a culture shift here at the Peralta colleges in terms of responsibility and accountability. But of course, thank you. And of course, it will not work if you do not participate. So if you want to sabotage this, you know how to do it, and that is by not participating. But I tell you, if you want to change how we do things, if you want to change the image of the Peralta colleges, if you want to change our brand in this community, accountability and responsibility need to take stronghold in how we function. And I guarantee you that our students will be not only happy, but successful. And I invite you to participate with me when this comes down. What do we got up here? Culture change. So that's what I'm looking at, a culture change. And as you know, culture change takes years. John Gardner, a famous higher education scholar, said change in higher education is like rearranging a cemetery. So if you ever tried that, rearranging a cemetery, I have, by the way, no. It takes time. It takes time. So it takes time, but it takes effort, time, perseverance, and optimism. And I have all of that. And I'm optimistic that we can make a difference here in the years to come, next 4 or 5 years, and making this a better place to be. And I'm excited about it. I want to get you excited about it. And please join me in that effort. So I'm moving forward. And if you agree with me, follow me. If you don't agree with me, get out of the way. So I'm going to close. I know Tamika wants me out of here. But before I close, I want to recognize Romeo Garcia and the foundation for the work they've been doing. He's already talked about it, but I want to thank them for a great year. And the bottom line is that they've increased and continue to increase scholarship opportunities for our students. And that means they have opportunity to attend the Peralta colleges and to be successful in their careers, in their lives, which means what they do in this community is going to reflect on us, and we too will benefit from all of that. So Romeo, thank you very much. Thank the foundation. 50 years, we got another 50 to go. What does that mean? I got another 50 to go. I'm here for the duration, and I'm willing to work at all ends to make the Peralta colleges and Peralta district a wonderful place. And I appreciate all of your support. I appreciate what you do in the classroom, what you do in your offices. I appreciate even when you go to Whole Foods and spend your check. They call it whole check. whole check, right? Because you're all part of this community, and being part of this community, you know what our students need. You know how our students rely on you, and Romeo's already talked about this, rely on you, rely on us for their future, and I know you're up to the task, and so am I, and if I could be of any help to you, you let me know. You know where to find me, and again, welcome back. Happy New Year. Have a great semester, and we're moving on. Thank you very much.